The Weekend Podcast on Vox Markets with Justin, Peter and Steve. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Ho, ho, ho! Welcome to the Weekend Podcast with Santa and Peter and Paddy and Steve. And Justin.
Hello.
Oh, wonderful.
Hello, Santa.
You all right, Justin?
Yeah, you've been a naughty boy, Peter and Paddy. Together. You've both been little naughty. Sorry. There we are. No, because I was just saying before, you know, we weren't going to stop messing. Who's playing around in the background?
I'll be padding his fire.
Sorry,
He's a part-time arsonist, Pad. So, no, you know, so some people, I say, some children will not have any presents this Christmas, but they got a free podcast to listen to. Some guys talking about stocks and shares and stuff, you know? So that's you imagine the smile on their faces as they open their stocking, and in there somehow is a podcast they can listen to about guys rambling on about small cap UK listed stocks. Just what you wanted. But there we are. So
is that what your boys have got?
That's what they've got. Yes. Yeah. Do you know what little spoiled sods are they these days? Well, I don't know. Our kids get loads. Do you?
I think that's just your kids from what speaking to your wife. To be honest.
Yeah. There we are.
That Amazon addiction.
I'm slowly putting a stop to that, though. You know, and it's you know, Father Christmas doesn't like you. Right. He's not going to give you any present this year. But you know, as they get older, you know, the value goes up. The amount of tact comes down, but the value goes up. And so, you know, it gets more expensive generally, doesn't it? So, but I tell you what, guys, of course, we're recording this on Wednesday? We've lost track of the time. Of course, Christmas week. Half day tomorrow, of course, on the Thursday. So people may be listening to this, well, they will be, because I will releasing it after half day. Half day, 12:30, the stock market shuts down. And, but I tell you what, didn't I reallocate my SO4 capital quite well?
Is this why you asked to have a podcast now? An extraordinary podcast on a Wednesday night, just to gloat about reallocating your capital from your SO4 investment.
Well, I whacked off into IKEA sale. You know, the illika, solid state batteries.
I thought you were keeping this quiet for a bit until you did a video on it.
Well, there's no point, is it? When I do a video, I like to see that the share price hasn't gone bananas. But I was telling you on the WhatsApp group, saying, guys, get a little bit of this, because it's very strong. The chart is strong. The hype surrounding solid-state batteries are crazy. And you talk about hot trends. You know, you've got to get in front of a hot trend. It's like catching a big wave. And that was a big wave, 56% on Wednesday. And it wasn't pulling back, you know. I could see that. So I said, now.
But it spiked really near the end of the day as well. It had a good rise, but then it just went crazy. Like,
what was actually happening there? Was it just people buying and more people wanting to buy?
Yeah, well, do you know what?
The thing.
Yes, yeah. People hate to buy a riser that is spiked out, don't they? But fear of missing out. That is people waiting to the end of the day for a sell-off a little bit. It did go up to like 27%, then came back down to about 18% up, and then all of a sudden people said it's not coming down any further. I think it just jumped in. When you look at the peer group here, right? And of course, it's the next big thing. It's the biggest trend we'll ever see in our lives. It's bigger than Christmas, guys. EVs bigger than Christmas. Okay.
You cannot say it's the biggest trend we'll see in our lives.
Of course it is. Every government in the world is saying no more petrol, no more diesel. What alternatives do we have? We have hydrogen, not really proven, very expensive. And there's EVs, which is where? What else is there? What else can you run your cars off these days? Tangerine juice?
The internet was probably quite big, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The internet was, but we weren't investing. Well, I was actually. I did invest in .com bubble, but a lot of those were just companies changing their names on AIM to .com, and they'd double overnight. Then they'd collapse because there's nothing behind them. But even Amazon, you could have picked up Amazon then, you know, for next to nothing. And you've done really well if you've done that, to be honest. But look, I'll give you an example, right? Bill Gates and Volkswagen invested in a solid-state battery startup, pretty much. It's called QuantumScape. It's pre-revenue. That means it's got no cash. It's pretty much at the same level of development as illika. It's valued at $40 billion. Yeah. So I don't know, do the maths. If illika is valued at $150 million, Oh, so let's say
200. It's easier.
Yeah, let's say 200. So it's like times 5 makes it $1 billion.
Yeah.
And then another
times 40.
times 4. So 80 times, or no, 200 times bigger than that. Yeah, that's nuts. You know.
Mm.
So, but solid state's the way to go. They charge faster. Solid state batteries charge 6 times faster. They hold their charge a lot longer. So it's the way forward. You know, they can be charging.
Solid state batteries been around for a while, or is this a new invention?
Brand new.
Donkey's years.
Yeah,
Right, so is that what is in my iPhone, or is that?
Yeah,
it is.
No.
Isn't it?
No, they've got. I think most electric batteries, including in Tesla,
lithium-ion.
They are lithium or silica kind of liquid.
So why have they not moved to solid state then? What
Samsung and also Samsung, for example. Do you remember phones were catching on fire? That was because of the liquided. That was why they're non-flammable.
Why is Apple not jumping at this? Samsung,
They
why are they still using lithium?
They maybe that's when even Apple again in the game. Do you remember a while they were tinkering around with autonomous vehicles and batteries and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they laid a couple of people off in that autonomous department, and then now they've basically nailed their flag to the colours. What? The colours to the flag. I don't know. What's the analogy there? Wasn't he nailing something to what? Nailing some
colour to the mast.
Nailing the colours to the mast. What? No. Anyway, nailing stuff to the mast, whatever they're nailing. But they've just said, we're now going to produce an iCar. I don't know if it's called iCar, probably isn't it? They're not very imaginative.
It is. It's nailing colours to the mast.
Okay.
Check that.
All right, yeah. So they've said by 2024, they're going to get into cars, autonomous electric cars with good battery tech. And I thought, hang on a sec. It's not going to be that good because my iPhone doesn't last beyond a day. And, you know... Even a car's going to last. I want an iPhone to last, a week or something, But so everyone's getting into it, and that's why when they announced that, by the way, QuantumScape rallied by about 20%. So they thought, okay, whose battery tech are they going to use? Or, so anything. It's all the boats are rising on this tide, and it's like a tsunami. It's like it's the biggest trend we'll ever see, bigger than the Beatles, bigger than Christmas, bigger than Jesus Christ. And,
solid state batteries as a thing have been around a few years.
Solid. No, so you think it's solid state hard drives, you think, right?
That's what? No, solid state batteries have been around. They have been around.
In where, Pete? Where have you seen them?
In Pete's mind.
In my mind.
Batteries I've never heard of them before.
Yeah, all batteries are solid. Are you thinking just a solid state, Pete, rather than just the actual mechanisms of solid?
Not those flexible batteries.
Yeah, it's just solid state.
I definitely have.
Solid state.
I'm right now.
But you thinking exactly? You're thinking in the morning, Pete, when you wake up. I think I was thinking.
Right, okay.
A solid state, man. All right, let's go. Listen, well, that's the start of the Santa Rally. What's going to happen is this. Do you remember Vaccine Day? Do you remember Vaccine Day? Do you remember that? We look back on that now with...
Okay, can I just kind of butt in there? By the looks, solid state batteries have been around since like 2013, 2014, but it's now, I guess, being able to be used in like electric cars.
Yeah. The technology, like all technologies, is evolving. Back then, someone came up with it, didn't really work properly. 2017,
they were developing for BMW, Honda, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyway. Yeah. And that's, in
fact, illika are actually working with Honda as well. They're actually working with Jaguar Land Rover. They're actually working with McLaren as well. So they're working with 3 big companies as well. So so that's part of the deal there. So yes,
as you can tell by my live research on this podcast, I haven't really looked into it. You mentioned it the other week. I looked at it and I thought, blimey, that looks ridiculously overvalued at 138 million market cap. But I am glad that I fortunately stuck a few quid in there this week.
Yeah, but it's not though. I in my video, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to say ignore the price at the moment. It'll bound to come back a little bit. But in my video, I show they've got. Just look through their presentation. You can see they're ramping up with their production lines. They're going to be worth even on production, fundamentally, if the batteries are good and they work properly, and they were tested by proper scientists, they'll be worth over $1 billion. I mean, anyway, on proper fundamentals. Okay, you value a bit more, but valuations go out the window of your car, of your electric car, when you're talking about such a hot space. And do you know what I like, though? The Santa Rally is coming. Oh, yes, it's coming. Yes, I'm ready. So back down, Santa, yes? It's not your place. Tomorrow you're coming. Down the chimney with your sack. But, because things are lining up. We've got things lining up here, right? We've got, first of all, Vaccine Day Part 2, because we had Vaccine Day when Pfizer came out. We've got a vaccine, guys! It works! And all the stocks are ready, they're hammered down, so travel stocks, all those stocks are hammered down. and then we've become a bit blasé about vaccine 2 and 3. But now vaccine day 2 is around the corner, guys. Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I don't know. Maybe a bit of slippage in the figures there. But apparently the MHRA, I'm finding it easy to say that, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, are expected to give the green light, I see car analogy again, to Oxford and AstraZeneca Monday, Tuesday. And the stocks will rally. And also, Brexit's going to get done right now, in the next couple of hours, next couple of days, it'll be done. What else has got problems? Anything else happening? There's the problems. Oh, there's one problem we have. I was scared in the week. We hear when they had the border crossing, they shut the border down, and they said we certain foods like lettuce we be short of. Lettuce? How are you going to have a Christmas dinner without lettuce?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I started panicking. The people actually rushed to the shop, started buying lettuce. I don't know.
Prawn cocktail for your starter, no?
I know, but I can. Do you know what? To be honest with you, I can do without that. A bit of lettuce, can you?
Lettuce is quite a key ingredient into a salad, if you ask me. So,
but the Christmas lunch? What do you have? Turkey and salad?
Well, for like seconds in the afternoon when you have a turkey roll.
What's happening on Boxing Day? What are you gonna mop up your piccalilli with?
I'll have a Scotch egg and cake.
Right. Insight into Paddy's life there.
I think
particularly on a Boxing Day.
Yeah, with on a lettuce leaf. Lovely. So I'll find something else. Doesn't matter what a lettuce is. Come on. But yeah, so I think we're going to have a heck of a rally. Normally, last 5 days of trading year, it's been a bit delayed because this dirty variant is it called the Welsh variant? I think. Is it? No, it's not. It's just a variant, isn't it? Of this. There's another one now, isn't there? There's another one, South African now.
Yeah, they're all getting on it. They're all getting on the act.
It's like who can? Yeah, go on.
Okay, so if the old Santa rally's coming next week, I mean, are you pretty invested up? Not much spare cash, or is there anything you're looking at now ahead of that, positioning yourself in a certain way to take advantage of potentially?
I got a bit of spare cash. But I didn't get fully loaded on Illika and Trackwise. I didn't get fully loaded on that. I mean, a bit of cash here, but not a huge amount, because I just think it's rally time. I genuinely think even these variants, these special variants, they're all saying that coronavirus isn't it? I don't know if we said this last week, but isn't it more stable? They're saying than flu. So it has to change thousands and thousands of times before a vaccine will become ineffective on it. So the vaccines will still work. And that guy from BioNTech, the Pfizer one, said we can create another vaccine within weeks that'll tackle this, no problem. But it's do you know what? This vaccine is not going down easy, is it? Last couple of rounds, it's just not having it, is it really?
What do you mean? What?
Well, it's putting up a good fight. And you think last couple of rounds trying to change us, trying to morph, trying to mutate into different...
Oh, you mean the virus, not the vaccine?
Sorry, not the vaccine, the virus, yes. I told the wrong V, sorry.
That made no sense.
So isn't it odd they both begin with V? But the virus, is not going down without a fight, is it? It's we come up with a vaccine, 3 vaccines, all of a sudden it changes its clothes. So, you thought you had me! But
we should have kept it quiet. We shouldn't have talked about it so much. That's how it knows.
Right, okay.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, it's had a lot of press, hasn't it? And has it got a Twitter account? I tell you what I've unfollowed, and I read a week later, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks ago, I unfollowed Trump. Did you? I mean, I used to follow him on Twitter.
I never followed it.
Because when he was the president, he had a bit of clout, of course. But now he's just a ranting old man in the corner, isn't he? Just shut up, you fool. Going on.
Not having to hear him talking anymore.
Yeah. But I learned as well that Jack Dorsey, the founder and CEO of Twitter, has also unfollowed him. Now made news. And did you know this? They're actually going to take now his followers away from him, not his personal account, but it is a POTUS, President of the United States of America, Twitter handle, and the White House official. They just get changed over now to Biden's thing. So he loses a group of Twitter sort of accounts that account for millions. And you realise, you take the megaphone off him, he's just an annoying man in the corner, isn't he, ranting on his own.
Well, so will they prise his phone away from him and delete the account, or just change the password?
Yeah, just do that.
Change the password from Donald123 to Joe123.
Should we talk about Polarean? Because our Paddy is. See, the thing is, when you fully exposed to one stock, you get a bit of volatility in the portfolio, and you want to sort of even that volatility out a bit, but not too much, because you want to have the reward. You need a bit of risk as well. So Pat, you're maxed out. You're like what percentage are you on Pollux?
Let me have a look. I think it's like 39%.
Yeah, I think that's a bit too much. See, I mean, I even if you're mega bullish on stock, maybe 25, 30% it rallies. But so did you see? Obviously, the news in the week is that they've got the application in. In fact, Richard will be on the podcast. Richard Hullahan, I've recorded it, and he was saying that essentially they weren't going for that priority review. Initially, and then someone said, with COVID, you may as well go for it. But the trial they took, they did the phase 3s, weren't suited to that priority review. And I didn't understand. So when they did it phase 3, that do better, equivalent or better than the original data. Now, you should have gone for a supreme sort of phase trials, which means that you are a lot better. But they didn't need to do that because they were advised to do that by the FDA, and they sort of changed it last. Someone said to advise them, I'd go for priority review because at the moment the world's up, all over the place with COVID. So they didn't really expect to get that ananyway. But it's very positive that the application, Richard, there's 3 ways an application will go. One, the FDA will look at it and say, no, look at this. They just chuck in the bin and say, shut up. Get out, you fool. We can't put it in. Secondly, they look at it and have a read through it and say, no, it's almost like a teacher saying, see me after class, come here. Your work isn't up to standard, really. You need to change this. And then the top bit is where they say, check through it, yeah, good, yeah, good, all right, rubber stamp it, yeah, okay, it's going through the application, and then it'll go through all the data, the phase 3, see if it's safe and, effective. And then 12 months it'll be to write and commercialise this tech, and that's it. So that's what they've got. It's the best outcome they can get from the filing, but they didn't get the priority review. Took a bit of a knock. Went down about I think it was 16-17% in the morning, but it came back to about 6-7% in the day because the market hasn't changed. The potential for the company hasn't changed. The market's still big. In fact, it's bigger because of COVID, long COVID. So it sounds odd, long COVID, didn't it? But it's affecting people's lungs. People who are getting.
So ask me, why did they go for it then? If they knew they couldn't get it, then
because they were sort of advised by someone saying, at the moment, there are more and more people with lung conditions that are being affected by COVID. So they may, sidestep. The FDA may sidestep their a little bit of their regulation, saying, well, we need to prioritise this tech. But it wasn't. It's almost like, I suppose, this is a good analogy. You like this? You can get driving tests and you can get advanced driving tests. Right, it's almost like saying, I'm going for my driving test. Right. And then you realise you're so good at your driving and you want to go for an advanced one. So someone says, you may as well go for it. So I haven't got my driving test yet. No, but go for it because there's been a lot of people not driving and we need more people driving.
If you don't have your basic, the main driving lesson, you can't drive, can you?
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'm just going to go for my advance anyway. And someone says, "But no,
that's a ridiculous thing to do."
Yeah. That's not a good analogy, really. But it's been like it wasn't set up for me anyway. But there we are.
Okay. Right.
Well, what I'm saying is the potential is still massive. So in fact, you came up with a really poor phrase, but I said, sometimes a drop is an op. A drop in the share price is an opportunity.
Yes.
And I saw quite a few people try and de-ramp it. Before that came out, saying if they don't get this, it'll go down to 40 pence or 50 pence. So that it will not go down to 40, 50 pence because the end market hasn't changed. Yeah, but the end market hasn't changed, and the potential's got bigger because of COVID.
I did come up with a term, didn't I?
Yeah, you go on, say it.
Yeah. Well, I think this should be called a dropportunity.
That's good.
Oh, Peter, stop it! I don't get it. Yeah.
That'll catch on.
Yeah.
Mark my words, 2021, there'll be a lot of dropportunities.
Yeah, dropportunity, man.
Yeah.
Drop it like it's hot.
Right.
Drop it like
where
it's
you
hot.
had it first, kids.
Yeah. What was Paddy? So someone's either cooking or rearranging logs in the fire.
I'm trying to get this fire started.
Fire starter.
Just as I was picking it up, one of those huge storms come through. Did you get them today?
No.
Did you get the rain? Oh my God!
Oh yeah, I got very wet going to the shops today.
Yeah.
Why did
they got a bit damp and.
Were your logs?
Yeah. Sorry, struggling to.
Why didn't you just bring them in? What did you bring them in by hand, one by one?
Have you not seasoned them over the summer?
No, Hugh's doing lots of beef now down on this farm, so he's not got the cover on the wood anymore.
Is that priority wetting stool?
Yeah, so he gave you a load of damp logs.
Wet logs.
Your house isn't your house going to stink of smoke and just fill you out with smoke and stuff?
Well, no, it's fine. It just doesn't burn very well. Like, you have to put them under cover for a bit.
Yeah,
have you got a chimney, or you just stick it in the middle of your living room?
Ho, ho, ho! Of course he's got a chimney. I'll be coming down Paddy's chimney tomorrow.
Oh, sorry, Santa. Yeah, I forgot you were here.
Yes. Hey, make sure you dry those logs and put the fire out, Paddy, and burn my backside.
Sometimes you just got to put a bit less oxygen through it than you think.
What? So your chimney?
Right. Yeah. Anyway, back to
That's
stocks.
better now. Sorry, what were we talking about?
Yeah, we come from stocks to logs there. Which,
gather around the fire.
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve podcast. Let's all gather around the damp fire. Lovely.
Right, Polarean. So what?
So that's Polarean. I'm just saying, I don't think it'll recover because listen, it's worth again. If they capture 1% of the MRI market, which is clearly possible. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but it can do it. They'll be a multi-billion-pound company. So there's no reason why
they get bought though, aren't they? At some point.
Yeah, they'll probably get bought. Yeah.
Especially now. Now it's almost like a dead cert. Like now's the time to go in and buy them. No.
So what I liked about Steve's response on WhatsApp was he said, "Oh, how long is this going to drag on for?" I thought it was a date actually in the RNS, Steve. And Paddy just replied, "Well, the 5th of October next year."
What RNS?
What RNS?
It's like second sentence of the RNS.
Yeah. How long is this going to drag on for?
He doesn't read RNSs, we know that.
Yeah, well, I know exactly.
They're confusing. I can't understand them.
Yeah. So that's why we started doing podcasts, boys. But so that was Polarean. I tell you what, guys. What's shaping up to be a good play, eh? Do I have to mention it? Hey, what?
C4XD.
C4XD.
Not C4XD. C4XD chart. How did it end up the day there? Because we looked at the chart. It was quite good. I'm not in.
Almost 11% up.
God, Joe, I'm sorry. I'm just going to put the charts on there, and all I've got is literally illika on there. That's phenomenal. That bar just goes straight up. That bar chart's nuts. Up 50-odd%. But
wow, yeah, it's up quite a lot, isn't it? I've not even looked at it today.
What do you mean?
What? That's what we were talking about a minute ago.
Did you get in it, Pat?
I kept saying that it was up like 10% earlier. I didn't realise it was up 60%. Okay, cool.
Did you buy some?
Yeah.
See, I couldn't urge you enough. I was actually typing in capital in the WhatsApp group. Just buy some, Steve. Just put your toe in the door there. Because it was up like 10% the day before. So just put your toe in the door.
Yeah, you see, it was like 10%. And obviously I was saying on the WhatsApp group that I just thought I'd missed the boat. And I was doing my washing and I just had a moment come to me. And I just bought it while I was doing that. So, yeah.
Were you washing?
I felt a bit embarrassed then to mention it because obviously I'd been so adamant that I wasn't going to buy it. And then the spur of the moment, bought some.
Yeah. Well,
Steve's massive buy stimulated the spike, I reckon.
Yeah. I kept saying to you, listen, they're about. If you look at, I get emails every day, right? I set up a Google alert on electric batteries, solid state electric batteries, and I often get market reports. And there are only about, I'd say, half a dozen companies in the world that do solid-state batteries or in that area. Most of them are connected to big car companies, and illika one. And like I said, the one that's getting all the noise, because Bill Gates invested in it, is obviously QuantumScape, and that's what valued at $40 billion on no revenue. So you can see, wow, it's just a mismatch. I know you can basically do a 5-timeser with the US and UK stocks, but there's no reason why. In fact, if you listen to one of their presentations, they said they wouldn't write off the potential to list in NASDAQ, which if they did, it would then go berserk,
Yeah, lads, go for it.
Yeah, I say it costs a bit of money though, but they raised it. But knock yourself out, yeah, absolutely. And so not C4XD, no. Come on, there's a bit of news out today. I was really bullish on before. Steve again. I had to shout Steve into buying the stock again, shouting it, the ticker, explaining why. And, of course, it's our old favourite, ESC, Escape Hunt.
Is it? You didn't tell me to buy that today, did you?
Not today.
No, not today.
This week.
No, right, okay. Oh,
I've got to say, right, because we had all this, tier 4 nonsense coming in and further lockdowns, I thought it was rolling over, the share price was rolling over. Then, this is how good the team are. They only created the idea of this in April, right? Let's do digital games because of the lockdown stuff. Let's see how it goes. Printed play at home. A good team will find a way, you know? It's like, in fact, who was it? I remember talking to a guy who used to work at my father's garage called Ray Williams, right? He's a farmer.
Oh, Rafe.
Yeah, no, not Rafe, Ray. Ray, see, he always had a fag in his gob, right? And I said sheep are dull, aren't they? He said, well, not really. See, he's not really dull, no. That's what I mean. He said, see, if you put a cow in a pen, right, and you put a sheep in a pen next door, right, a cow will probably die of starvation then if you don't feed it. That's all right. He said, a sheep will always find a way out. I said, all right. What? I didn't know that. So
what, eats the dead cow?
Yes, not only gets out, he said, ooh, it's a nice bit of beef there. And lovely. And so what I'm saying is a good team will find a way, you know? And so they just basically decided this digital strategy, B2B.
Wow, of all your analogies, that was the weirdest one. Yeah, okay.
That's right. So listen to this.
People find a way. Okay.
Yeah. So listen to this, right? And I don't think people understand the significance of this, and I sort of pointed it out. So far in December, across 6 digital propositions aimed at B2B markets specifically, the company's delivered 200 bookings comprised of 1,000 corporate teams and over 6,000 individuals. As testament to the scalability of the product, the largest attendance in a single game had 347 people split between 57 teams playing in the same game, all hosted by the company's in-house delivery team. I thought, what? How do they do that? So it's a special platform they have. It's not just on Zoom. They've got a special gaming platform now they developed. And in fact, if you go back and see the RNSs, they say they bought this tech IP stuff. But so why this is significant is in one day, during one digital game, Escape Hunt pretty much doubled the size of their physical estate. So that physical estate there, and that's exactly the same as one game they did there, right? They had 6,000 people take part in these games in December. That's equivalent to their 12 sites, right? With 4 rooms of each site, having 6 players in each, 75% occupancies for an entire of December. That's equal to that. And do you know what? The margins are very low, upfront costs are very low. The margins are large, costs are low, and it's scalable, massively scalable. And so no one can do that on that scale. No one's come up with that idea. No one's actually come up with that yet. And they've got all the games, of course, and all the escape rooms. So this is, for not anywhere in the world, someone can play this. So, and in fact, that big game they did was over 2 continents. And so that's, to me, that blows it out of the water. I mean, carry on extending the sites, by all means, because obviously when the lockdown ends, people will go back to those. But for corporates, you know, and I think right now, if you think about all the corporates out there who are not doing Christmas parties but want to do something, and in fact probably say, let's put the Christmas party off until lockdown's ended. Now the lockdown's extended again. They're probably thinking, okay. And do you remember when it was, first of all, when Zoom came around, lockdown was on, it was quite a novelty to people to sit round on Zoom and have a few drinks. People got a bit bored of that. They wanted a bit more entertainment. Then Steve came along with his lockdown disco. People wanted a bit more. There was quizzes and all that stuff. But now that's the way it's going to go, isn't it? People say, we're not just to sit there drinking, talking nonsense to each other. We can actually do something. And these big companies, you know, will do this as an add-on. It's one of the things that these big companies do. And so I think this is an excellent little leg to their strategy, digital strategies, big potential. You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, and I said this on the WhatsApp group, but to me, it's a better business model than the physical site thing.
It is.
Because, you can have really low overhead in terms of operationally, where you set it all up, and then you know the market's global, isn't it? So it's really interesting.
Someone said the same to me.
How do they do it, though?
I do it on a platform. I don't know. It's on a special platform they've sort of bought, IT sort of platform that it's now they own it. I don't know how they do it. But
they have a person that has a webcam. That's stuck to their head, and they walk around and do the
yes.
They basically are there, aren't they? And then the people that the players are actually connecting online and talking to that person and getting them to do. As if they were there in person.
But give you an example, right? So let's say that was equivalent to 12 sites, right? There's 6,000 individuals, for example, they've done in December so far. That's the equivalent to 12 real sites. Now, if you have 12 real sites, you've got about 3 or 4, 5, or probably more than that, about 5 people in each. That's 60 people you're employing, right? And you're paying rates and whatever you're paying, and mortgages, rents, whatever you're paying there. And they did that big game with 250 people, they did it with 5 people. That's all they needed. So That is and this is a 11 million market cap company. That's what it is. I see this being massive. I think, and even though I like illika and all that stuff, right? I still think there's probably more upside potential for doubling, tripling in Escape Hunt at this level because it's an 11 million market cap. That's all they are. That's I think that's scalable, so scalable. I love it.
Yeah, no, I agree absolutely, and I have bought Escape Hunt obviously previously, and I've always been a bit cynical about how quickly the growth could happen. But now they're talking about this, you kind of go, yeah, that's interesting, I think. And they've obviously got a talented team that can deliver this stuff.
And you said on the WhatsApp group, someone said, these takeaway companies that have these dark rooms. They cook in these dark rooms, So if you're ordering...
I don't know what that is. So someone said that on the WhatsApp group. I think Paddy said, Pad, what is that?
Yeah, so like if Wagamama don't have a shop in Blackwood, they'll just rent a nondescript building somewhere and put a little kitchen in it, and that means they can do all the delivery from there rather than having to have a whole restaurant.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And someone suggested this on Twitter as well, the day after you said that, and I said, yeah. So basically, all they need to buy, they wouldn't need to buy a high, priced premium mall site. They just need to buy a place on an industrial site where they can put all these rooms in.
Nothing fancy.
Yeah, nothing fancy there. And I said at the moment, obviously, they wouldn't need to do that because they've got capacity and empty locations pretty much. But when the lockdown ends and they go back to being busy, on their physical sites, they could just basically hire a big warehouse with 20 different games in there, rooms in there, and they can do everything there globally. So, and if you look at other leisure businesses, for example, you compare them to value against, for example, as metrics, like Hollywood Bowl or cinemas, they can't do anything like that. You can't, you can't bowl virtually, really, the same kind of thing. So it's a really effective way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, you can.
Well, can you?
Wow.
Can you do a bowl virtually? Or you can bowl on a game, I suppose.
Nintendo Wii.
With all your friends. Oh, yeah, but that's not Hollywood Bowl, is it? That is then, Steve. That is then a software company which are more, higher ratings valuation-wise than Hollywood Bowl, a bricks and mortar company, So a leisure company with bricks and mortar. Bricks and mortar cost,
The biggest thing with this whole pandemic and everything, and the shift to working from home and all that, and even if we go back to some sort of normality of working in the office or whatever, what it has done is make everyone really comfortable with their working on a video call from their own home. Yeah. And so when you've got a distributed team, like if you're a corporate with multiple offices and locations around the country, if not the globe, you'll never... it costs a fortune to get those people together. And now everyone is just more comfortable with the whole concept of doing stuff online. So you do a team building event, and you can do a team building event. Yeah. You don't all have to come to Centre Parks or whatever. Yeah. You can just all sit at home and we just do a remote team building thing.
Yeah, that's it. So already we've learned how to get online. Most of us now have gone past the technical difficulty of switching the mics on or whatever. We know how to do that. So that part of it, that friction, that unknown barrier, the virtual barrier, it's been broken. Everyone's doing that on a daily basis, and so slip into this straight away. So I just think there's huge potential there, and people ain't seen this, and I think you could even do virtual stuff, virtual reality. There's lots of different avenues to go down. I'd say globally, big companies in America, because they've got franchises. They've got franchises around the world. So they'll go. But I think the corporate team's done so well there to get this going from nothing to literally that amount in December. And they said, go on.
We don't have any indication of any figures like revenue from this at the moment, do we?
No, but if you look at, I don't know, I mean, it's like 20 quid a pop, isn't it? So, and with corporate and stuff like that, so, you turn 6,000 people by 20 quid a pop, I suppose. What's that? Yeah. Grand. But you basically, but the margins of that are super high. So if you look at a normal site, right, first of all, you pay $500,000 for it to get fitted out and all that stuff. You wouldn't have that with this. First of all, you'd have to have no upfront cost whatsoever. Then you've got a lot less employees, and so again, what happens is the valuation of an Escape Hunt as a leisure company goes up. You wouldn't say give it on a 10 times EBITDA level. You'd say 20 times or 30 times EBITDA because the margin's so big and growing anyway. So yeah, I mean, I just think it'll kick in. People start to realise I think right now the problem that's holding it down is the sentiment, of course, tier 1s and tier 2, tier 3, all that nonsense, and tier 5, tier 6, tier 7. What tier are you in, boys? From Boxing Day, I'm now in tier 4. We've gone from tier 2.
I think from Boxing Day, all of us are tier 4, aren't we? I mean, Yeah, I will be. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
How did he jump from a 2 to a 4? That's a bit of a leapfrog.
I know. He didn't even wave tier 3. Didn't even see it. Didn't even visit tier 3.
The best bit, the funniest one is just where I live. I live right by Waverley in Surrey, and that's been exempt from tier 4.
Yeah, why is that? Is there some like Boxing Day hunt going on or something?
No, Jeremy Hunt is the MP. That's why.
Right.
There we go.
Well, and that's why.
Well, no. Coincidence? Come on. Anyway,
what is the actual reason, though?
Yeah. Well,
is there like some grouse hunt? Must be some sort of Tory event going on, surely.
Yeah. Probably there's a Boxing Day hunt.
No. But Boxing Day, from Boxing Day now, Waverley will be
okay.
tier 4. Everywhere's tier 4. The whole of Hampshire, apart from the New Forest. I don't know why that is exempt from tier 4 because of the ponies and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Because nobody lives there, do they? Very few people, I suppose.
Yeah, but why?
There'll be some Tory thing going on.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
It'll be like a croquet festival or something.
Yeah, it'll be winter party. Yeah.
And in fact, it's not that new anyway. It's been around for a long time. So when you go there,
everyone's going to be tier 4, aren't they? From Boxing Day.
Yeah, I don't know what tier. Are you allowed to talk to people in tier 4? What happens there? What's the difference between tier 3 and tier 4? I don't understand. Are there too many tiers?
Tier 4 is basically lockdown. It's like it was before. You're not allowed to do anything. You're supposed to stay inside the house and do nothing.
Okay, well, I do that anyway. But I just think keep it simple. 3 tiers enough. 3 is the magic number for everything. I think you just literally all you need. 0, 1, 2, 3. We understand that. You get it tier 4. They got 5. What, Steve? How many tiers?
5.
How many tiers are going in Wales, Steve?
Oh, I think they got to 6 here, just in case.
Yeah.
What tier are you? Do you have your own tiers? Yeah.
Tier Pedwar. He's in tier pimp. Tier Pedwar a pimp. What do you mean?
Right. Okay. When I said everyone's going to tier 4, I meant us 4. Everyone on the.
Well, no, we're in tier 4 as well. It's not. They're still the same tiers. It's just we. I think he's executed them across the whole of the country, though, isn't he? Rather than
he's executing people. What?
Not yet.
We are now executing people. That is the best way to do it. We've discovered the best way to stop people, the virus killing people, is to kill people. If we kill people first, the virus will not kill people. We discovered that, scientists. So we're executing people.
Our numbers have come right down.
People with infections come right down. But so is the population, which is good because less population, less people can spread it. Lovely. Yeah. Right. And also, I can add about 7, that's tier 10, that is, we start executing people. Yeah. If you get in that level, right, you're in trouble. Yeah. Like I said, that boy on that thing you sent round bad. Do you remember that guy who was talking about the supermarket? He said, now we're in tier something now. We can't buy alcohol from the supermarkets. If we do buy alcohol, apparently the army come round and chop red off. That's funny there. So anyway, was there any other company news? Anything else? So any thoughts, boys? We're coming towards the end of the year. Santa Rally's going to happen. We're going to get coronavirus because at the moment I've set up a new spreadsheet on 2 things. Right, I like to look at these figures. One of them is hospital admissions on a daily basis.
Oh my God!
No, because that's the ultimate figure. Do you know what? You realise
this is going to be like my new stocks and shares strategy. Yeah. I've broken it down into sectors.
Hospital admissions.
Hospital admissions.
Because you know why?
Cool. What does Santa think of that? Is he still there?
Oh, the wife's got COVID. That's why I'm down here. Listen, I just think when you see that coming down, right now is about 2,000 a day, new COVID hospital admissions, right? But once that starts coming down, and just after the lockdown, that was down to double digits. It was like 70, 80 people a day, COVID. And now it's 2,000. In fact, it was a bit more than that. The previous lockdown. So I think once you start seeing that coming down, you start realising then, because it's not about testing anymore, is it? Because you can't. It's not like for like. Because last spike we had the first wave. What wave are we in now? Wave 2 or wave 3? Wave 2. So the first wave, they weren't testing people, were they? As much as they are now. So you can't. It's not like for like anymore. It's like apples and pears there. But hospital admissions accounts for everything. So they're vaccinating people. When you know the vaccine is catching on, is when you get less hospital admissions, because the people who get hospitalised are the most vulnerable. They're getting vaccinated first. And I think, literally, I saw someone come on yesterday this morning asking Hat Mancock a question about Someone said we need to vaccinate 70% of the population to get rid of this. I thought, no, we don't. Not to unlock the economy, we don't. We literally need 2.5 million extremely vulnerable, 1.4 million NHS workers and 1.2 million care workers. That's about 4, 5, 6 million people. So that's all we need. And you could do that. Once the AstraZeneca is here, you could do that by the end of February, pretty much, or mid-February, end of February. So, and the stock market will rally before that. Once you see hospital admissions coming down, that's what I'm saying. So it goes back to that. Once you see these hospital admissions coming down, that's when you think, the vaccine's having an effect.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I learned this week? Tony Blair said something sensible.
Yeah. He said lots of things that are sensible.
Did you see what he said?
He made some mistakes along the way, but in general, he says very sensible things.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Because what's happening is now they're saying the Pfizer vaccine, because it's got to be super cold chain.
Give everyone one dose.
Because they're not rolling them out fast enough. Because what they do, for example, let's say Stevie's an old man with arthritis in his kneecaps or something, and he's extremely vulnerable. And so says Stevie, come in for your vaccination. He said, all right. So he goes in for his vaccination. Says, right, we'll give you one dose now, Stevie, and we'll put the other one on the shelf up there, okay, for you. I'll write your name on it, Stevie Jingles, right? So they're doing that. So hang on a sec. You've got to now wait another 4 weeks to get injected. So why not just give that second dose to someone else? Because, I didn't realise this, you get up to 50% or a bit more than that immunity just from the first dose. So, so you can give that, rather than just Steve having that on the shelf, I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time, and then he dies, gets knocked out by a bus. And
he still forgets.
He forgets. And that vaccine is still sitting on the shelf waiting for him.
Yeah.
Then someone else could have had that. So you can basically double the first dosage because
I wasn't thinking they were kind of reserving it for these people, though.
No, they do. They do. That's the problem. They said that they do because basically once you got one,
No. Who came up with that?
Why would they do that?
It's linked on a barcode system. Beep. Here we are. Right, so that's 2 for you. Yeah. So
I just thought the second jab was also different to the first one.
No, what do you mean? It's more the same.
No, it's more the same. But
okay. I thought it was like a different strain which kind of does it in different parts.
Different colour. One's blue, one's pink.
It just reminds your body that this is what it should be doing.
Yeah. So
I can't remember the first time round.
No, it does. It remembers it. No, it's in fact, someone's saying it's like 50-60% effective. The Pfizer and the Moderna, it's 50-60% effective. The first, so it kicks in.
That's enough.
That's already better than most flu jabs.
I know. Yeah. So that's the same. But the trouble is, they're reserving it. There are just get them all to everyone. Just double. Because
you'll probably fall down a mine shaft or get eaten by a wolf anyway. So just crack on. 56%. That's fine.
Well, in fact, you probably fall down a mine shaft and think, oh, nearly died. Then and a wolf comes along and eats you.
Yeah.
Oh, nearly got away with that then. I'm down a mine shaft. There's a wolf singing. Who's that shouting?
I haven't had my second vaccine.
Excuse me. Someone's reserved a second dose. Can you hear me? Oh, sod it.
I won't make the appointment.
Yeah. That's going to get wasted now. Tony Blue was right. That's the first time. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm very bullish. And that's what I'm saying. I think hospital admissions, keep an eye on that, guys. Keep a close eye on it. If it starts going down.
So you've got your spreadsheet. What's going to be the trigger for doing something with that? I don't understand that. So you got
and what happens when it does?
Yeah, talk us through that.
What I'll do is just shout out loudly, and say.
But what level is going to trigger some action from you?
Well, I'll say, for example, right from the start of November. Just look at these. It was 1,483. Okay, and it's gone up now. It's got 700, 800, 800, now 2,000.
That's daily admissions in the UK.
Yeah, and on the 16th of December, it went up to 2,034. Then 2,100. We'll dip down to 1,880 on the weekend. So it's over 2,000 at the moment, and it's still trending up. Once it starts dipping down below, I'd say 1,500. I say, oh, here we go, boys! Tipping point, vaccination time. Let's go.
Are you going to do a PowerPoint presentation at the Christmas lunch for your family about this?
Yeah. No, I'll suggest this. I'll suggest this as a game for escape hunt. So everyone comes on, and I'll talk about the vaccination figures and the hospitalisations. Awfully lovely. Be able to guess the next figure.
Yeah.
Higher or lower?
They'll be escaping quickly. Yeah.
Is this data not being collected by anyone else? Why is it being left to you?
Well, first of all, right.
And how are you doing that? Ringing every hospital?
But so first of all, they're not. Well, the vaccination things. I'm just guessing that because they said I got another tab here for that. But they said first week it was 137,897 people were vaccinated. Second week, when Boris came on the telly, he said we've now done over 500,000. So they didn't give an exact figure. So that's basically 362,000 the next week. So they've more than doubled in week 2. So and now they've given out to GPs and all that stuff. So I think it's a lot more. They're doing probably close to 400,000 a week, which is very good. Then and they reckon now they're going to be doing 200,000 a day, hopefully, even with Pfizer, Moderna. Once AstraZeneca comes on board, whoosh, whoosh, they'll be jabbing 1 million people a week. That's good, isn't it? Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get so excited about vaccinations.
No. This time last year. You wouldn't have.
I know, yeah. Would have thought that.
Okay. So with everything going on and feeling quite bullish and all the rest of it, but you do sort of think there's a recession here and it's all, should we be taking some profit, especially with the Santa rally in the next week or so potentially? Should we take some profit at some point? Is it, you're just getting, I've been here before where you get carried away and then 3 months down the line you go, I should have taken profit back then, shouldn't I? And I didn't. And it's all very great. We're sat here and I don't know about everybody else.
Well, let's ask Steve. Steve, go on, Steve. What is your thoughts, Steve?
No, I'd say that, Pete, to be honest, because I don't think it's going to happen. I think the stocks we've got are pretty good. I've been talking about IKEA for a while.
IKEA. Okay. Yeah, you've actually bought IKEA, haven't you? Rather.
Yeah.
Okay.
He bought one of those big bags. I think Steve is partly right. Do you know one of the biggest, silliest things I did this year really was look at the macro too much. And if you look at indices and worry about this, I did a couple of videos on it and looking for the sell-off and things, and they said, hang on, don't do that. Look at strong trends. They're going to be here in 3, 5, 10 years, right? And if you look at the companies sort of we own now, do you own Trackwise as well?
No, I don't have any.
You fools, you ruddy fools.
I didn't like the name.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough. But that reminds me.
I fell asleep watching the presentation.
Yeah, but that reminds me. My father, right, he's a car salesman. He'll say sometimes you'll get a bloke come up to car sales, looking at a specific car. You ask everything. He'll do lots of research on a car. And he'll come back day after day. And how many miles a gallon is that? Okay. What insurance group is that? Okay. And what's the service history on that? And so take a test drive. Okay. And what is this? And he'll go all through it. So, right, listen. But day 3 or 4, he said, I'll bring the wife up. See what she thinks. Right? Brings the wife up. Stands there. No, I don't like it. It's blue, innit? I don't like blue. And they'll go home and he won't buy it. I thought, what are you talking about? You've done all the research here. And you said on the colour of the car, you just walked away. Sorry, mate, she doesn't like the colour, and that's the way it goes sometimes. Not all the time, of course, but sometimes if you don't like a name for stock, you don't like it. But Trackwise, for example, illika, right? Trackwise, they're in the EV space. They're not just in EVs. They've got lots of other things going on. Like illika, for example, the first commercialisation of their solid-state batteries is their smaller batteries, which are in medical devices. So there's a massive market there. Same with Trackwise. A lot of their stuff is not just EVs. It's one of the things that's going to help them along. Gfinity, for example, esports. There's no way that's not getting more popular over the next few years, is it? I mean, it's, as games get better, like now I've got to limit my kids all the time, and they can't get them off the computers. People are always going to need houses, on the market, for example.
No, absolutely. But as we all know, share prices don't just go straight up, and it's that thing of will there be a cooling off period because of external factors or whatever, so you kind of go, you could take some profit now, things might cool off, and then you go in again and build your holding. I'm not saying sell out of any of these, but take some profit now and then be looking in probably 3-6 months time, putting more in because things have cooled off.
Well, I said to someone, right, they saw the drop in Polarean on the Thursday, Wednesday morning, and they said, what do you think about that? And I said, well, essentially, when you got
opportunity,
drop opportunity, basically.
Thank you, Pad.
Yes,
it's a drop opportunity.
Yeah. But I said, when you see a share price fall, I said share prices short term go up and down. that's the nature of the stock market. It goes up and down, and it messes with your emotions. But when you can see a company generating value multiples of the current valuation, it's best you hold on or even top up a bit, and that's the same with, Polarean. They're going to commercialise their product next year, and it's going to be worth a lot more than it is now. So they're going, okay, so are you going to sell out in a little dip and get worried about 10, 15% or 20% or whatever, when you know full well in a couple of years' time it's going to do a lot better, So I think it's silly of anyone just dropping.
I know, but you were saying exactly the same things about SO4. This is guaranteed. They got 20 lakes, and one lake equals this amount of money, and then something comes along that we weren't expecting,
an unforeseen circumstance, and suddenly it's not quite as rosy as it was.
But what have I learned from that?
We're not sure.
Don't buy resource stocks, which you learned before, but then you've
listen,
with debt.
But we've been pivoting, or and I'm saying to you, look for sustainable rises. Okay, now it is a sustainable rise. Resource stocks who are not producing are not sustainable rise. They're pop and drop stocks. You can earn good money. It can pop for a long time. It can pop for months, and you can earn good money. But if you hold on too long, then they're going to drop because they're going to need money. And all resource stocks, if they're going to become a producer, they need to take on lots of debt. And that's where it gets complicated, And so why complicated? Like, it goes back to Buffett, and I've said this several times, he said, it's not like Olympic diving investing. You don't get points for difficulty. Keep it simple. And so I've added to my, my filter, avoid debt. And so I just want to go for companies that are quite simple. And also, like I said, everything I've got is tech pretty much. All different sectors, tech, the tendrils of tech reach into every sector. And so you can be very diversified, but have a tech backing on every stock. And so I thought, and let's be honest, my reallocation from SO4 to Illika went quite well, I thought.
Yeah.
You did mention that, yeah.
Yeah. So
I reallocated,
but only because me and Steve invested. It was our investments which tipped it over the balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
There we are. So so I'm just it isn't
just to say that Salt Lake Potash had a 7% rise on Wednesday. So
yeah,
I think it'll do. I think it'll do well. But like I said, there's lots of unknown. Commodity prices and dollar strength and all that stuff. They're very leveraged to dollar strength and commodity prices. So even though it's quite stable SOP as a commodity, I think it'll do well. But I said last week I didn't have any cash. And I had to reallocate capital. I wanted to buy 2 EV plays because, like I said, it's going to be bigger than Christmas EV, and it's going to happen non-stop. This is just the start of the frenetic hype around EV. Like, if you look at QuantumScape and illika, they're not going to be producing these batteries until 2023, 24. So this is just start. We're like 2-3 years off before the production starts on these things.
Yeah.
And so it's and like, we don't have to buy these cars until 2030. Stop buying petrol diesel cars. So it's still a long way to go. But I think have you seen the adoption?
And they're loss making.
Yeah, but have you seen the adoption of electric vehicles is now gathering pace? Apparently, it was at one of the big car sites said they had. Was 50% of 50%? The sales will go up by 50% next year on EVs, which is obviously from a low base because only 3% of the population is now EVs or hybrids. I think it's about EVs. So it's still go up to 4%.
Sorry,
4.5%.
Is that 50% of electric vehicles or 50% of the overall sales?
No, so overall car sales. EVs right now, and it's not hybrids, just EVs, are roughly just below 3%. Last year, apparently, last year, the data.
Right, okay.
They reckon that will get to 4.5% next year. So that's a jump of 50%. And of course...
Well, it is a jump of 50%, but it's still a tiny proportion of the overall market.
Yes, but listen, we're still, 9 years away before you have to buy an electric vehicle. And they're saying adoption now is getting faster. Money going into the space is going faster. It's all coming away from the oil and gas companies, and so...
Also, a huge part of car sales is fleet and...
yeah, true.
And the other one.
The other one.
Fleet services, yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to be buying electric vehicles for a long while. So commercially, individual choices.
The complete ban is that on? Hybrids not even going to be able to be sold at after 2030. Is it?
No, I think hybrids. Another 5 years, and there's something like that, or another 10 years or something. But it's just so it's basically petrol or diesel cars. 2030. The last time you can buy one is you pop down to your local garage there on the 31st of January. 2029. And you say, I'll have that, please, because no one else is going to buy it, let's be honest. And you can probably get a good deal. And
my point on like this whole where we are now, take illika as an example. As we sat here now, market cap of 240 million on a loss-making company with a contract or two, and one of well, not in the pipeline. They're signed, sealed, and delivered, aren't they? But you sit here now and you go, well, sell it 170. Sell it 169. You kind of go, well, you could take some profit here, and then you could probably be buying back it in at 130 in a month's time.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but that's like okay. Let's go back to surfing, right? That's like saying, let's say you're riding a wave and you just get off the wave early. I'll just catch you back up at the now, and but it's going to die at this wave. But it doesn't.
That wave's gone then.
Well, yeah. Okay, listen. But this is the wave. It's going to be going. It's a tsunami. It keeps going and going and going. So. Why get off now? When you get listen, I've noticed, Peter, right, that and I like it. I like what you're doing. You're focusing on value a lot, valuing. You're trying to look at the value of this company. It's loss making. So again, that company, what was it? In fact, in the UK. So let's ignore America. And I've got this in the presentation we're going to do. It's a company called Let me get Ceres Power. Let me just find it here. I just want to get the like for like in it. So Ceres Power, right? It's a fuel cell technology company, engineering company. Right? They've been around for a while. They are valued at 2 billion. Okay, they did 19 million of revenue last year and lost 10 million. How does that get there? That's 100 times revenue, and they made a 10 million pound loss. Now, so when you get special situations like clean energy, EV. Try not to focus on value too much, because you know what, you'll probably jump off. You get off the electric bus before you come to your stop. And
I love that. Yep.
And so sometimes.
But what if it runs out of charge?
Yeah, no, but okay. Look at Tesla again. Yeah, Tesla, right? Tesla, for example. There are plenty of people who talked about the value of this all the way up, right? Do you see that tweet recently when Apple said they're going to be? Apple said, "Oh, we're going to start doing electric vehicles with a battery." And then Elon Musk tweeted, he said, do you know what? In the dark days of Tesla, in 2017, this was when I was struggling to find a way forward here. It was only valued at 60 billion. But he approached Tim Cook, the boss of Apple, and said, can you buy us out and help us? And Tim Cook basically said, no, we're not into that. Now, Tesla's worth 600 billion, right?
Yeah.
And it's done 500 billion this year, but it was stupid. And so its market capitalization is bigger than the 9 largest car companies globally. So Volkswagen, all those big guys, Ford, GM, combined pretty much. And its P ratio now is 102. So valuations, when you get trends like this, and it's going to be around for a long time, try not to. I know, keep an eye on valuation, but. What happens is the hype builds up and just basically people buy, fear of missing out. You watch now, the dip in illika will probably get bought. It'll dip, people start buying it because it's 200 million. It's nowhere near where Ceres Power is, and they could be doing that revenue. In fact, in 2023, just off their Styriax solid state batteries, they'll be doing 13 million in revenue. And that's then starts producing Goliath batteries as well, which are EV and all that stuff. So you could probably double that. So that in 2 or 3 years' time, they'll be churning up the revenue that Ceres Power, has got, and so they'll be at that billion market cap. So it's just the trend is when you get hot trends like this, sometimes just throw traditional valuation metrics out the window, because if you're going to, I've done it before and I've missed out. I think that's ridiculous. That's just overvalued. I've jumped out of stocks and I thought it's overvalued now, and it's gone on to, like for example, Powerhouse Energy, that's gone berserk of late, absolutely berserk. And I keep saying the only advantage I got that is that every now and again I do a video update and show the stocks I've talked about. It's at the top there. So look, that's now a 10 bagger. I got out.
And I've been doing this for a few years now. I've seen a few of these, but it still never ceases to amaze me. I'm just like, really? Is that still going to go up? And people are still going to buy that? Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's been analysts saying that Tesla's overvalued, for the last, and it's trebled, quadrupled, gone up 4 or 5 times, and they've been saying it non-stop. And every time they say it, and some analysts even said, "Oh, okay, no, we understand. Now it's a buy now." So there were analysts saying sell at what's the price on Tesla stock price? They were selling it way below where they are at the moment. They were saying sell, and now they've gone to become a buy. So they've gone buy.
Yes.
Yeah, so $600, and it was 5 years. Just a look.
644.
Yeah, so in that, God, wow. So I'm looking at 2020. It was $88 at the start of this year. It's now $644 a share, and there are people saying this is overvalued at say $100. And they've gone and saying, no, in fact, it's not overvalued now because I understand they are the market leader. They've got data from that. They'll be supplying batteries for other people as well. And so they've reevaluated it all, And so the hype just goes and goes. So, I mean, I do, that's why now one of the filters I have is it a trend? Is there a big commercial trend behind this company? If not, then, you're going in the right direction. If you're in the right trend, if the tide's going up, you're a boat sitting on it. It's fine. You're not holding the books. They say, it's lots of hype stocks around, but is it commercial?
Yeah.
And I think these stocks are. So I wouldn't worry too much. I'm going to sit and ride it. I'm not overexposed in it. So I'm just going to sit and ride it and enjoy the ride.
It's been a crazy year, though, isn't it? Like I was only just today remembering that for a large part of this year, my portfolio was 25 to 30% down, and now I'm 30% up. Like that's in everything that's happened this year. It's not like I've been making lots of money on sort of like lots of crazy COVID plays or particularly smart. It's not like I've invested in things that could have done well this year, based on the ridiculous events of the year. But to still have turned the portfolio around by that amount, it seems pretty crazy to me.
And do you know what? And a lot of it is, though, about trying to have the right amount of stocks, the right exposure, if you can, but also having the right stocks. As I said, having stocks that have, an end goal, a commercialization goal, where they'll be generating cash. Because if you're heading towards that, again, that's value generation. If you can have companies that are not going to be, producing, like I said, there's a lot of traders, obviously, and that's fine. If you want to trade, you can trade. And, if you get 20% in a day, you may want to sell. But I don't think you're going to make... It's hard to make lots of money in trade because I never have the conviction to put enough money in. And if I see a dip, I think, they're going to need funding or something. And I just want to get out. And so I get.
The other thing is having the small cap stocks being, because they... to some extent been insulated from, like we were saying earlier, like not thinking about the macro picture and looking at, because that's been crazy and hard to predict, whereas what we've been investing is just predominantly small caps, isn't it? So they have, like today's rise with illika, despite all COVID, regardless of COVID or anything like that going on, that's having a rise because of the trend. But I take your point, Paddy. I mean, but hey, better to be sitting like this than the other way around. So
no, it's amazing. But this is far more enjoyable.
Yes, exactly.
I just had a look there at where Bidstack is, just because that was one that Justin was shouting at me for years to sell.
Okay. Have you sold it?
6.4. It's not going anywhere.
No, but the thing is, Bids come out with this. They're going to beat their guidance on revenue this year. I still like the tech bids. I was very enthusiastic about it. It's huge. Gaming's huge. And again, it's one of the, and I still think it's going to do very well if they get it right, because why isn't that good? Well, in game advertising, and it's automated pretty much. I don't understand what the cuts are, but
on that one, that's for me like another point to stick to my guns on stuff that I don't believe in. Like that to me, it still doesn't make any sense as a company. And I made a bit of money out of it. I did okay. Overall, it was a good investment, but I still don't believe in that as a company, and it shouldn't. Like it's a fine piece of technology, but it's a plug-in for a big company. It's not a standalone company. Yeah,
well, the thing is, so I agree with you, because when they're obviously having issues with the tech and getting it working and getting monetizing it. Now they seem to be getting there a little bit closer. I don't know how much, because when they first came out, they had guidance of 6 million for the first year, and I thought that's amazing for a new tech company in a new field, a new advertising area. To do 6 million, and they were valued at run up at sub 15 million. That's amazing, because if you're a new tech company, that's you can value pretty much that value at 100 times revenue if you want to. You can go nuts if you create a new category in ad tech. Then all of a sudden they did about 300 grand, something like that, and then at one point they did 30 grand for a 6 months period. I thought, okay, something's not going right here, and then they missed, and I jumped out. And people said, "Oh, you'd ramped that the hell high," but the story changed a bit, didn't it? Because they weren't going to achieve that revenue, and now they're saying, and now the revenue guidance now for the new year, this next year, is 1.5. And I thought, well, how has it gone from over 5 million to 1.5? Now they're saying they're going to exceed that, which is good. So it looks like they're gaining some traction. But let's be honest, it's not as a quarter of what it was when they first started out for the first year. So it's taken longer to monetize. Like I said, trends are good, and tech is good, but it's got to be commercial. And yet, I'm sure it's getting there. But so I just think the story changed a little bit there. But I think I'm sure, I don't know. They sound more bullish. It sounds like they're emphasising the revenue more, which is good, I think. And we'll see. I think it could still do well. And like I said, it could get bought out. Like you're right. It could be one of those companies, Pat, that, they'll pay a nice chunk of money for. I don't know, but one of the other companies. But as yet, I don't know what the figures are there. But yes, but as it's got to be commercial, isn't it? But yes. Well, Steve, let's ask Steve. Have you learned anything this year, Steve, about investing?
I'm not sure if it was this year or last year I learned this, but I think it's just more. It all blends into one, doesn't it?
Yeah. COVID has been a bit different.
A little bit.
Yeah. I forgot what my point is now. You just threw me.
I didn't think you had one, did you? You just said this year's been
no. I think it's more not just jumping straight into a stock, and I probably applied that rule this morning with IKEA. And obviously it didn't pay off because I should have jumped straight in because actually, but no.
But saying that, I've been talking. If I go back to when I first mentioned IKEA, then illika.
Illika, isn't it?
It wasn't just a one-off thing. I did have quite a few extensive notes in it. I've been every time it dropped a little bit, I bought a little bit more. I didn't rush into it, but I could see the chart was about to pop. It didn't come back, didn't roll over when I thought it should have. I thought, do you know what? That chart is looking very strong, and if it breaks out about that level, it's going to go. And so that's why on Twitter I said, okay, listen, I'm going to reveal my second EV stock because it's going to go now. I don't want to have to do a video on it when it's gone up by 50% because people say it's going to come back. So. You can take your time, but I think when I'm shouting at you in capital letters, Steve, so just put a bit toe in there, a little bit in there, just get in there a little bit.
Well, to be fair, I was going to because I sold my C4XD today, and by the time I'd sold it, obviously it had already jumped by I think it was about 10%. It'd gone up in day, and on top of the stupid rise it's had over this year. And I don't know, for me, that rings bells. I just go, in fact, you always say, don't chase a stock that's going up. But
again, do you know what I like about stocks and shares? Someone said to me, thanks, someone, who was it? Said, thanks very much for doing your videos and stuff. They said, I've done 40% this year. And largely, I hold what you hold. I said, he said, I'm learning. And he said, I'm learning as I'm going. I said, I'm learning as I'm going. Sometimes there isn't a fix. That's why I like stocks and shares. Sometimes you can apply a certain amount of formula to it, but not always. Sometimes you think, oh, hang on a sec. Originally I didn't buy illika when it was 60 pence. They came on the podcast because I thought I like the idea of those solid state batteries, but they're based in Romsey, which is 10 miles away from me, 5 miles away from me. And I thought this is a game changer. But surely can this company have the tech to challenge? And I realised then, oh, hang on, they've got agreements with some big car companies already, so it's not just them on their own. And then I thought, okay, but they're still valued as I thought about 60 million or something like that, and they've got no sort of revenue apart from grant funding. Then I realised, EV is getting so big and so massive. Then you look at some of the peers in America, and think, hang on a sec, and it starts, and then all of a sudden, literally, if you look at the day the podcast happened, they went up. The day after that, they went up, and a couple of people said, you bought illika, didn't you? I said, why? So you sounded very enthusiastic when you were chatting to the guy. I said, well, I was enthusiastic. It's kind of stuff I like, but I didn't buy. I said, now it went up. I said, it's gone up way too much now. And so I didn't buy it. It came back and it went back up. I said, bloody hell. And so in the end, you have to bite the bullet and say, I'm going to buy it, Sonic, because it looks like it's going to be a good, strong stock. And so I could have bought that. When was it? In the summer, they were on the podcast in July when they were 53 pence. And I ended up buying. My average recently is just around about £1. And so I paid double what I could have bought it for originally. So that's it. That's why I like it. It's a learning curve, and you're always learning, and it's never one rule fits all, is it?
No.
That's what I like.
Yeah. Cool.
That's we talked enough now, haven't we? So anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Have a nice Christmas, boys. And,
Absolutely, yes.
And everything in your stocking you wish for. Hey, by the way, right? Okay, let's have a quick bet here, right? It's Wednesday. Illika has gone up by 56%, right? Half day tomorrow on Christmas Eve. Will it rise or drop on Thursday? Pete, go for it.
I think it might rise, but by 5%.
Okay, Pad?
No, it's going to drop.
Okay, it's going to drop. It's going to end of the day. I mean, yeah, it's going to be down at the end of the day. Okay, Pete makes it go up. Steve?
I think it's going to go up.
I like Steve said, stay in the middle and just stay there. No movement. Yeah. It's going to go up. Okay, let's go.
Go up by 15%.
15%, all right. Do you know what I think's going to happen? I think it'll dip in the morning, it'll get bought up and rise.
Yeah.
Because people the fear of missing out. Because
I'm talking about the end, so it's half day, so lunchtime.
Yeah,
Thursday,
12:30.
It'll be 5% up.
Yeah,
it'll be 5% up.
All right, cool. Paddy down. I think it's a 3 against 1 pad. It's surprisingly hard, even if you don't run the footsie and do spread bet on the footsie. You think, okay, all I need to do is you can put spread bets on, can you, up or down, basically. And it's surprisingly hard.
So what's your percentage up? Do you think it'll end up, Justin?
I think sub 10. So I think, but I'll go between 5 and 10. I'll go for 7% maybe.
And you know what? I think we'll all be right at some point during the morning.
Yeah.
There you go.
Lovely. All right, have a nice Christmas, lads, and we'll speak in the new year in 2021. Surprise! And do you know what? Everyone's looking for a bullish new year. It never goes to plan sometimes, does it?
Right. Sell everything tomorrow. Great.
I think it will largely go to plan, but there's always a left field thing that happens. Again, this time last year, who'd heard of COVID? Nobody. Look where we are.
Chinese.
It's been 12 months of that nonsense, and it's still here. That's nuts, isn't it? Right, have a nice Christmas, boys.
Happy Christmas.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, boys.
Bye, Samson.
All right.
The Weekend Podcast on Vox Markets with Justin, Peter and Steve. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.